Welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread. How you doing, folks?
There we
I
go.
think that's probably your best intro or the best one that you've done.
Yeah,
yet,
we
Jim.
keep working on it. We keep
Yes,
working on it.
How many times a day do you
We just
practice?
keep the damn woke fanboys away. You know what I mean?
Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Right. It's been a good week.
You're being mean.
I'm not being mean. Just
No, that's what they say about me. You're being
uh,
mean.
yeah, well, sometimes you are. But look, you have to be
I
cruel
know,
to be kind.
So you're a bully.
Cruel to be kind is an Irish saying.
Yeah, we're just honest with what it is. You know,
Honesty is the best policy. Yeah, true. Anyway, how has life been, guys?
It is going. I was gonna say, man, for the people who ride, man, please just try to be safe, man, and wear your gear. You know, these, especially here, there's so much traffic, so there's a lot of motorcyclists that are getting hit by cars and stuff like that. So just try to, if you can, just wear gear. Try to wear gear.
Well, look, it is a very funny segment to start with, and I've always seen this, and this is something I'll never truly understand. Like, okay, I know over in Ireland you have to wear a helmet at all times, right? There is no it's the law. But you see, fellas going along the thing, right? We have a very, very rare summer day here in Ireland, right, where it's like 15, 16. The sun is shining, right? It's not raining and it's not dull, right? So everyone is out on their bikes or whatnot, and the amount of fucking idiots that are out there asking for it, right, in a pair of shorts and t-shirt, right, and a helmet on. And you're like, what?
Right. Yep.
Why even fucking wear a helmet? I know it's the law, but look, right? If you want to be like just fucking ripped right open, just go rolling glass for a couple of hours. Do you know what I mean? It's just
right.
But look, you are right. I saw that thing that you shared with me. Look, it's all about having fun and enjoying it as well. Very hard to control yourself though when you see an open road or you see gaps, and I don't know. Will it ever come out of us that we're not fucking Rossi or Stoner or Marquez or?
But it's not going out and falling. It gets you. I mean, you get scraped up and things like that. It's the cars running in India. It's that
always the cars.
Left. It's what is it? I think the ratio is like it's literally like 95% of guys get killed or guys getting hit by cars turning left on an intersection.
Yeah. Look, it is just one of those natures of the beast. Do you know what I mean? Look, we can't stop idiots on the road. Do you know what I mean? But then sometimes, look, and let's be fair, right? Put your hand up if you stick to the speed limit. Exactly, lads. Idiot cars, but idiot bikers as well, going too fast. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look.
One thing, by the way, I'll save somebody some money. I always hear it irritates me. Is the new trend for, and I want to hurt people's feelings. The jeans, they're the riding jeans. There's safety jeans. Okay.
The Kevlar ones, yeah.
Yeah. If you hit the ground on a pair of jeans, a regular pair of good jeans, it's going to last about 4 inches. A pair of Kelvar jeans is going to last about 6 inches before it hits the pavement. Before it rubs through the pavement. The difference is so small. All right.
Yeah.
Don't count on those Kevlar jeans.
No, my buddy had a fairly good one in a pair of them, and he didn't come out too bad. Like listen, look, if you wear
he must hit dirt because you hit pavement. He must have hit dirt or something because you hit pavement. Done.
No, he hit the road and he had the Kevlar pants on, and he didn't do too bad. But look, at the end of the day, right? As long as you're not out in your fucking bare legs, like, do you know what I mean? Riding along in a fucking tongue, like, do you know what I mean? You're fucking asking for it, do you know what I mean? And like, I would refuse to feel sorry for people that don't gear up and try and take precautions. If I would suggest anything to anyone, the best investment that you can make is it's an airbag system, right? Get one of the
exactly
$800 or 600 quid or whatever it is.
Even a chest plate, guys. Even a chest plate. Most people get killed. Not getting hit in the head is getting hit for the car. If you just look at a motorcycle and you hit a car, you get hit in the chest, and it kills you, crushes your chest. All right.
Yeah, but look, again, invest in the proper gear for yourself, even if it is a Sunday ride or whatever it is.
And I'm the worst. If I got to go to 7-Eleven, I jump on. If I'm with 7-Eleven here down the street, I got to go a half mile. I don't put my gear on. I jump on with, pants.
Right.
I get that, but if you're on the highway, you're gonna, do what you do.
Yeah, on the highway, I'm gonna throw my stuff.
Yeah,
you're on the highway. You're under your.
Oh, you can see. I got it in the background.
Huh?
I got it in the background.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And they're custom leathers, and they're kangaroo with the zippers on the side, and
you're zipper.
zippers. Yeah.
Stripper zippers. Yeah. Anyway.
Titanium things in the elbows, the whole 9 yards. That's the best company that you find. So,
yeah, definitely. As CB says, gear up, fool. It's for you. Anyway, on to this week. So, the 2027 regulations. A whole new can of worms has just been opened within that, and it's quite interesting to see what and why. Now, if there is some confusion out there, what's happened, basically, when the regulations are being done, and how would I call this? Because I know this is a topic that's going to come up. When, for example, a regulation is in place and already done, okay? So it's signed off, it's put into law by the FIM after, the three stakeholders agreed, so Dorna, IERTA, and the MSMA, and then that's put into regulation. They cannot change that regulation unless all 5 manufacturers agree. Does that make sense? Now,
yes, supposedly, but it doesn't work that way. But anyhow,
that's the way it does work, Chick.
It did with concessions, so we'll keep going.
It did. It did. They all put pen to paper, Jake. So
yeah, they did, but as well as I did, they had gun to their head. Go ahead, keep going.
That's grand, but the process is that, right? Very different, right? It's very different that they put in a rule without the teams agreeing. The teams signed off. So currently, what happens when they're talking about new regulations, so regulations before it's gone to the FIM, they go with majority. So with the new regulations, everything in my understanding has been agreed. But the only thing that was discussed was about a development freeze. So the development freeze, obviously KTM, Ducati and Aprilia agreed to freeze the development of the engine from the end of 25 and 26. So realistically, the engine that they end up with this year is the only engine that they can use for the 25 and 26 season. And any new development would be for the 2027 engine that was agreed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So so they're not running 2 engine programs at twice the cost. Okay. Obviously, the Japanese, Honda and Yamaha were like, fucking no. Do you know what I mean? Not happening. But it was a 3-to-1 ratio of agreement because Honda and Yamaha were like, if we freeze our engine at the end of this year, we're not going to have the gap closed. So therefore, it's kind of putting us into a bad spot for the next 2 years because it's literally a virtual 0 points.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be virtually 0 points, but it's going to be nearly. So everything was signed off and it was agreed the engine freeze was going to be there, or the development freeze. And then Aprilia changed its mind. So now it is 3 in favor for no engine freeze and 2 in favor for it. So the regulations, or the agreement on the regulations for 2027 are now being thrown back up in the air because the agreement of the basis for the agreement has now been broken again. So all the team like IERTA, Dorna, and the MSMA have to now sit down and renegotiate the whole lot.
Good, because I don't believe in any freezes. Let the best engineer win. Period.
No, and that I would agree with you in a certain term, but
And if there, good.
No, it is quite normal, like it happens in majority of sports, that when you're going to bring a complete new regulation in, there's no further point in developing the current set of regulations. So you would freeze on that and then put the funding towards that, because at the end of the day, one of the main things, now I did say it in the video, if you have watched it, I'm not sure, but our number one was the safety, number two was cost cutting, number three was the show. So they're not going to agree to run a dual engine development program. It's just not the way things are done. Like it happens in Formula One, new engine in for 26, I think. Mm-hmm. So they stopped engines from 23 to start, so that the manufacturers aren't running a dual engine development program, two different sets of regulations. So financially, it does make a lot of sense for the sport. Yeah, maybe it doesn't, but look, what I'm more interested in is I believe Aprilia have found something, but they're not going to have the scope to do it this year.
Ah, okay.
Or I believe something happened with the concessions talk, or it's Aprilia's way of getting Ducati to run less bikes.
I don't think that would be hard, since the Ducati has been saying they're not going to run bikes from day 2.
I know, but Rivola is the biggest whinge of Ducati having the 8 bikes on the grid.
Then Christ, he should have bought he should have taken up Dorna's offer to buy him and take him in the first place. Dorna pays the Ducati to run the bikes, for God's sake.
No, they did for the first contracts, not for the second.
That's right. They did for the first 2 years.
Yeah, first 2 years.
Regardless, they screwed up. Okay.
Oh yeah, look, they did screw up, but look, Rivola. I think Rivola has a B in his banner, and I think he's using this as a negotiation tactic. Realistically, I think he has something or he has an agenda that he wants to do, if you know what I mean.
And see, folks, I give everybody hell, even Aprilia, which I love.
Yeah. So look, I think it's going to be quite interesting, because if we look at it now, let's just say, right, but we're at what month are we in now? April, halfway through April, nearly the end of April. That's not long to develop a whole new engine formula. Like realistically, the manufacturers can't sign off the budget to develop the engine until this is signed off, because not until it becomes a regulation, of course.
So you're saying what?
They can't start to develop.
27. That's 27 is the new engine regulations, right?
Yeah, it's not a lot of time.
You don't think it's enough? 2 years?
2 years is not enough, really.
God, you know what? God, I am old, because I can remember making totally new bikes. Okay. Way faster than that. I mean, we're talking V4 to square 4 to
Yeah, but you could change you could change out the guts of the engine every single fucking race back in those days. Nowadays, you have to build that bike that she's a reliable son of a bitch.
True.
So it means okay, they probably get some grace on engines in the first year, but again, it's a different ball game now, and it's a much more political one. Like, because if you go into the new engine regulations and you fucking blow up every week, it ain't good either. Like, do you know what I mean? So, and in these things, okay, look, I would think that they would have the budget or the required budget somewhere in place, and it's signed off and whatever. But like realistically, there's no point in having 80 men already working, women should say, already working on the engine when it's not even fucking confirmed that that's going to be the spec. And what we've seen here with Aprilia going back to the kind of unfreeze side is like, anything could change. So I don't know. Look, for me, it's very tied to test or to create, test, and develop a new engine. Because like the first iteration of your engine that you're going to build, it's not really going to be very good, is it? You know what I mean? It's not going to come out of the box and be like, boom, this is fucking.
Those days are done. Those days are long gone.
So like realistically, you're going to build that engine this year. Maybe 12, 18 months into the engine development, then you're going to run the shit out of it. Very limited on testing, so it's going to be a lot of dynoing. Do you know what I mean? And look, there's a lot of work to be done. Like if you look at the Moto e-bike that Ducati it took them like two and a bit 3 years to do. Do you know what I mean? I know it's an electric bike. No one has done it, but again, this is a whole new concept as well of engine. They do have experience of it, but no one has put that formula together, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see exactly how that comes to pass. Let's just go.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I wish if Liberty would have bought them out in 2017, that would have been very, very interesting. But like a complete reset of the regulations and company and everything else. But it should be interesting though. So
yeah. Look, I'm not a fan of 850. Like I get it, and like I don't know. Look, they have said
it was a disaster last time. Let's kind of face it.
Well, the 800 was a complete disaster, and it was. But I think they're looking at everything as a whole package, and it's good when they're writing the regulations. And I know people will say, yeah, well, or might disagree with me, but it's good when they're looking at the regulations that they're now also looking at the show. Because last time that they did this, they had no idea what is going on. And
Aero's going nowhere though. Aero's is there to stay.
When did I ever say Aero is going to be removed?
No, I'm just saying, not for just you. I'm saying because there's a lot of people think that it's either going to go or stay, one of the two.
No, it's not going to go. And what I have always said in this is that the Aero will be reduced.
Yeah,
big time. It won't be gone, but it will be big time.
Yeah.
Will it be more advanced than Aero on World Superbikes? Yes, it will. Right, just by the nature of the beast that MotoGP is.
You're compromising on that, and I like it. You compromise on it, but a lot of people, they just don't get it. It just drives you nuts because they're like, just pull it off, and you can't say no. You just can't pull it off.
Yeah, well, look, we've gone down that road a good few times, right?
Yeah.
The European bike, the only ones that will actually benefit if you pull the Aero off the current bikes are the Japanese, right? And the simple fact of that is because the Japanese bikes were not designed with Aero in mind, whereas the European ones were from ground up, day one of building that bike. There was three major components, well, four really, right? One was the engine, two was the chassis, three was Aero, and four were the tires. That were However, the Japanese tend to do it on the three. So that if I could sum up Honda and Yamaha's problems, they're looking at three verticals and the Europeans are looking at four. And that's where I think it would be. Look, Aero, the genie is out of the box. Aero will not go away. I think they will curb it. And I know people, and I've seen some of the comments where people were saying, oh, but, this is the prototype racing and this, that, and the other. By removing some of the, not banning, right, but saying and putting limitations on your wing can only be this long and this high.
Box it up. Yeah.
That in my view drives even more things because you're putting a limit on saying you cannot do this. Okay, how can I exploit and do that loophole, right? And look at the engineers then to say okay.
Mac, you got to. Box it up is probably the best alternative I can think of. Oh, I have good news for you. I talked to 3 more engineers, okay, and they all said when they're talking about once it lose, it's not like Formula One where when you lose, it'll never get to Formula One levels. They said because once you lose that, think it's like a suction cup, right?
No one, but Jake, no one has ever said that.
Back down again, you'll never get to that same
no
level.
One has ever said that.
Does. Huh?
But no one has ever said that. No one has ever said. But the only thing that we're getting to and where we don't want to get to is what if you look at Formula One cars in 2007, 2010, just look at the fucking state of them, right? There was fucking a wing here, there, everywhere. Any fucking flat surface that you could put a wing on, people were putting a wing on, right? And fellas trying to get into the cars had to use fucking step ladders to get into the cars, right?
That's what I'm talking about. As long as they're still going this way, you're never going to have that step ladder dropping the guy in, you know?
I would not put anything fucking past Red Bull and fucking KTM, right? And they would build it.
Unless they do that gyroscopic bit. Did you see the gyroscope thing?
That will never come in, right? You will never replace the rider and his feel and touch in this, right? You will never be able to even recreate that. Yes, you can make a machine go around the corner and do this, that, and the other, right? But fans will not go to see a machine ride itself around the track, right?
That's what would happen with that.
I hope not.
With those gyroscopes,
there is that racing already. They do it with a GP2 car or C race or whatever the fuck it is. Yes, it's a very interesting concept to see, right?
What is it called?
The way RC something I can't remember, but they took a Formula 2 car and they replaced it with all electric. So they're trying to drive the perfect race lap in every racetrack. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a great concept, and it would be a good race series to see it. But again, you know,
do it by remote control?
But it does it itself.
It's like automated.
Yeah,
like kids, like oh Jesus,
like a bunch of sensors, and it plot the line, race line, or something.
The car knows where it is, and it'll drive to the maximum to the grip. But again, look, 90%, and I will still say this: 90% of people go to a race to see riders race, and see their heroes race, and to hear the noise of the bikes and whatever, right? Yes, they go to their brands as well, but 90% of them, they're there to see a person race, right? Mm-hmm. You know, some are just dragged there for because their significant other said, "I promise you a holiday. We'll do 3 days at the race and 5 days in the sun." Do you know what I mean? So, but they don't tell the significant other that 3 of those days in the sun are at the racetrack.
Yeah, I think a lot more people look at the brand and the tech, and it's like a kid. When a kid puts
I would
wall, okay, he puts up his Ferrari or his Lamborghini or something like that. He doesn't put a Prius up there, you know.
But you don't see the tech there. Where do you see the tech?
Well, for a kid, that's all he knows. But and when they get older, they know the tech, and they
no. Yeah. But let's go back to this, right? Do you think that I see the winglets on the side of a bike when they're flashing past me 120 miles an hour? I can fucking see it when I take a picture. But I just see a red fucking blur or an orange blur or a fucking...
yeah. But that's what the race is playing. I also see it, but I also take into consideration when the race stops, and I study that. And there's a lot of people that study that.
But again, when the race stops, right? You get out the fucking circuit. You're not going to get near a fucking bike. 99% of that crowd ain't getting near a fucking bike.
Yeah.
You know, it's only in the pictures, and it's only in this and that and the other where you actually see what the tech is going on. The closest thing that you can see in tech, right, is the warm-up lap, right? Because you can actually see the bikes at a slow pace that you can kind of go, okay, I can see he's doing this. Or this is the rear right height, because it's a visual thing that you can see the back of the bike fucking drop.
You know I can visualize more of what I am is the TV fan, the person that looks at it.
Yeah, but that's
watch it on TV. So because I can see everything on the TV. Okay, I really don't want to go to the racetrack because I don't see shit in the racetrack. Yeah,
but that's
I owned a race team, but I couldn't see the damn thing I was owned.
Yeah, but
like, God damn it, I own this fucking thing, and I own this team, and I can't see the bike on the other side of the street. I'm not seeing it. I see the bike. There it goes.
But again, an awful lot of the fans, like, and look, I suppose, Jake, this is where it comes. Like, they were reporting that they've had bumper seasons and they've had a lot of people in. Like 100,000 people over the course of a race weekend is fuck all, because most of those circuits can handle 100,000 people a day.
No,
Do you know what I mean? A day.
You know a lot more about that. I didn't even realize when you were talking about it, lots of times you would say you were talking about distance off the track and you say it's no good, it's too much. And I wasn't relating to watching it. I was relating to how far the runoff is going to be as far as the bike slowing down. It never occurred to me because I never see that. I'm in America. Our tracks are right there. When you get off, if you jump off the track, you hit a wall, you die. Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, well, look, actually, just on that, shout out to Max Fan. He's racing today in Moto America Super Sport, so hope it goes well for him. But yeah, no, look, it's like, look, like, the only way they're going to get more bums on seats in the things is by doing the show, right? And look, whether Liberty or people think Liberty have done a good job or a bad job is really kind of indifferent, I think they know what they're doing. They're reaching new audience. They're driving up the price, of hosting races and this and that and the other. But saying that, they've moved the broadcasters who broadcast Formula One around the world. They've made them go up another level. Do you know what I mean? Give fans more access, more interviews, the drive to survive.
Yeah, but isn't the money's made on the TV and the fans they're watching on TV, not the.
Well, no, like a lot.
Fans walk in as kind of a cherry on top.
Well, like, I'll put it to you this way, right? Races normally were about 25 or 30 million per race to host. So the circuit would have to pay 30 million to host one race, right? Now you have countries like Saudi Arabia, all of these ones now wanting to join. They're like, okay, price tag is 70 million. Okay. Right. And okay, yeah.
You gotta have a big set to be throwing that much money out in a day or a weekend.
They would. But look, it's kind of like, for me now, that is my only worry about MotoGP, is that if they start renegotiating it, and like fucking Egypts were out there saying, are we going to end up in fucking Jeddah, doing a street race on MotoGP? And like, how fucking stupid are you? Like fucking hello, like, really? Oh yeah, well, like, Liberty Media are going to do street races.
I know you're talking about too.
And you're like,
it's like Monaco. Like, why would they race in Monaco?
Yeah, let's race in Monaco. Now, look, don't get me wrong, right? Macau Grand Prix is one of my favorite Grand Prix ever, right? You make a mistake, you hit the wall, you're dead, right?
Yeah. Oh my God! You know what he's talking about, CB? It is unreal.
It is fucking brilliant to watch. Like it would put a horn on a corpse, is what we would say it out here, right? Which is make a dead man get a boner. It's that fucking exciting to watch the race, right? But
it's like Russian roulette, for God's sake.
But it is. But like, then saying like to people over this side of the pond, right? It's no worse than the Isle of Man or the Northwest 200, which is.
I was just thinking about that.
I think it is. It is. I never seen a picture where there wasn't a wall. No.
I will show you your wall with a bus stop or a signpost or an electricity pole or whatever. Like, these guys that race in Macau, majority of them race the TT and the roads, right? So they're not afraid of the furniture, right? But asking the likes of,
I'd be afraid riding that in my street bike. You know what I mean, Macau?
Look, it's definitely going to be an exciting race, right? And that famous saying, like, I mean, there's nothing more exciting than when you're almost dead, right? And living on that kind of feature. But for me, the likes of running MotoGP on a Formula One street circuit, that's never ever going to happen. Do you know what I mean? And some fucking idiots are out there going, yeah, oh, that will happen. Like my only worry with Liberty majorly is that the price of tickets of events will go up for fans. Like right now, and this is no word of a lie, right? I was having a look at going to Valencia in November, right? Because a friend of mine in the office was like, I've just bought tickets, and I was like, maybe I'll go. And I was talking to herself, and she was like, well, which it's normally gone past. Joe, it's looking good compared to normally. It's like, no, you're not going. You'll only fucking spend a fortune and only get fucking caught up in something. So like, all right. But I was looking at it, and it's like, for the three of us to go in a box at the end of pit lane, just by turn one. Now, Valencia is a class circuit because it's like a bowl. So you can actually see it nearly every corner. And I was like, okay. And it was 600 quid for the 3 days for the two of us. Now, that's in a premium spot, right? Out the back of the circuit, 90 euros each for the 3 days. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So what is it? 270 euros for three of us for 3 days at a race.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, that's not bad.
90 euros a person or whatever it is. So like when you look at it, what I don't want to see happen is that that 90 euro ticket for a weekend all of a sudden becomes a 300 euro ticket. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the same price ticket in Formula One is fucking outrageous compared to a grandstand ticket in MotoGP. So much so that I used to be able to do 3 MotoGP races a year to my 1 Formula One.
Mm-hmm.
That's like tickets and getting to the circuit and whatever. It's not food and drink and all of that, obviously. But look, that would be my only fear. The other thing, right, and this is a really serious question, right? Maverick Vinales. Would you sign him again next season?
Definitely.
Right now? No.
Right now?
No.
I would. I think he's always showed one promise than Aleix. Aleix is just there. I feel like Aleix would be a good test rider.
Yeah. Oh, excellent choice. Yeah, for test rider, Aleix. Yeah, best one for Aprilia. But I wouldn't sign him because until I get another one under at least one more ride out of him. Every fighter has a one fight where you just show up and you're good. You know, you have a good day. I want to see more than one good day.
Well, no, to be fair, he's had 4 good days out of 6 this season.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And look, it is the big question that's been asked. Like, look, let's just say, even going up into Kota, right? His job was very much on the line. Do you know what I mean? Like, he got lucky was what everyone was thinking in Portimao, and then he did what he did in Kota. And I think like he was brilliant in Kota. Don't get me wrong, but I wasn't convinced. Do you know what I mean? And I always have this kind of weird feeling with Maverick that when it comes to contract time, it's like he goes to that level. Do you know what I mean? And my question is can he stay at this level? So this has me kind of thinking is like, is he safe? And then it was like, who do you replace him with?
Maverick Vinales reminds me of Underdog. This is older than you guys probably. Underdog was a comic, and he'd go into his pill in his ring, and he'd take it. He was a normal, mild mannered dog. Okay, and he'd take a pill, and he'd turn into Underdog. That's what Maverick Vinales is like. He goes in at contract time. He takes his pill. He goes out. He rocks and rolls, and then comes back. And then you got the mild manner dog again.
The sensible pill.
Yes.
He goes back on his sensible pill rather than the mad, the crazy pill.
Yeah.
And look, it's kind of, and I tell you where I'm going with this, right? Because Mark has said that he's open to talking to everyone. Which, look, everyone is fucking open to talking to everyone, right, Joe? It's not and
They all say that. They all say that.
He specifically said, well, everyone has signed their number one rider except for Aprilia. They're saying, or he was saying Aprilia is next, because if we look at it, KTM has Binder. He's signed up in a long-term contract.
Ducati has Pecco
for Ducati, and then Yamaha has
Fabio.
So the other one, realistically, that hasn't announced their number one rider for next season is Aprilia.
Now, what about the Martin? Who's Martin running for? We don't know yet.
No one knows, but that's his whole point. Is like, he's open to talking to everyone, and then it kind of just got me talking. Is like, could they fucking bolt out? Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, Maverick has done well, but it's taken him 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So it's he has to prove himself this year, or he's out. I think that's what it is, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going with this, is that his seat is safer than it was this time last week.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. We're shooting this on the Sunday, just so race day was Sunday. Yeah. You're watching this on Monday. But what I mean is, if a gun was put to my head and said sign someone now, I'm not sure Maverick would be top of my list.
Ooh, for Aprilia?
For Aprilia. I don't think I would sign him. I would be looking for another superstar. I would think Maverick.
I still want my my alien for them.
I think
an alien, and they're going to rock and roll.
Yeah, I think Maverick has shown that he has alien flares.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you look at the likes of Martin, Pecco, even Fabio, right? He's going to be fast, right? And if he's not fast, there's something wrong with the setting, right? Do you know what I mean? But it's fucking not him. Or even Marquez is the same. Do you know what I mean? He's just naturally that other level. And like, it's the same as we've all, like, I'll still go back to, what we said about putting an alien on a good bike, and you'll see the difference. And you look at young Pedro Acosta, right?
Yeah.
You see the difference. It's a different level. Yeah, of course the boys are going to beat him in some of the races this season, right? Because he's still not MotoGP mature. Just mean he's out there at the moment having fucking fun. No consequences. He's supposed to crash. You know what I mean?
That's how you learn.
Yeah, he's not worried about crashing, finishing last, or whatever. Exactly. And like, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, Obviously, he's probably put a bit too much limelight on himself, and this might bite him a small bit mentally in the head, that where he'll start to feel pressure soon, if that makes sense. Whereas right now, he's like, no one expects fucking anything out from him, just to go out and try your best. Yes. Season 2.
Yeah, world on the street, he's walking on a rainbow, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. And I think next season could be different for him when he kind of decide, or when there's that layer of expectation there. But saying it, he's some fucking rider. And okay, he's wrapped up, but I'm looking for Aprilia. I'm like, I still think they need as Marquez, Martin. I don't know, even Rins. I think Rins can.
Rins has also had time where he's always. They need an alien. I'd count. I wouldn't.
But realistically, but that's my point. There's only 2 left.
I think they should go for Martin or Enea. Whoever is.
There's Enea. Okay.
He's not an alien. He's
not, but
you never know. I don't know where the hell to put in there. It depends on what day it is. You know what I mean? It depends if you got a little snooky last night. You know.
So he's not a number one alien rider. That's my whole point, and what I've just been saying is that they need someone that goes out there and is consistently fast, day in, day out, every fucking session on it. Bang, 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 bang,
bang, bang, bang, bang.
That's Jorge.
There's only two left. So it's Marc Marquez. Or it's Jorge Martin.
I would go Jorge. I wouldn't go Mark.
That's what they need to be changing. I did a video a couple of weeks ago. Like, we do know that Aprilia is flirting with Bastianini.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to replace Maverick as number 2 rider in the team, yeah, Bastianini would be probably a good option. But for a number 1 rider, I don't think you're going to yield the return that you're expected. Now, saying that, if Maverick does stand up, becomes consistent all of a sudden, it will be interesting. But I think Aprilia have the time to wait. I think. I don't think they're going to be rushing into it. Do you know what I mean? They have a good bike, and I think they have one seat, and that one seat is they're going to try and get an alien. If they get a title sponsor, they're going to go for that alien. That's my humble thought on it.
Yeah,
I think they already know what they're going to do, because if they tell Maverick what the plan is, that may kill his drive. You know, he like he's saying, like, when he's about to get cut, then he starts to perform. So I wouldn't tell him anything, you know, until
Mm-hmm. Well, look, but again, I think would he be number 2? Do you know what I mean? Like, realistically, to go to that next level, they need someone performing at a level like Maverick did, race in, race out.
Yeah, but how are they going to get Martin or them when? I swear, Honda's going to be sitting there with a check ready with a ton of money loaded behind it.
I have heard through the grapevine that it's actually Vinales that Honda are after.
Really? Yeah. All right.
Now, look, I've also heard they're after Martin as well, but I've heard that there's negotiations with Honda. Yeah. Now, you'd have to be fucking ludicrous
to go to
Honda. Aprilia and the thing. Like, I can understand, and you might throw your eyes up to heaven. I can understand Jorge Martin going to Honda.
No, yes, I'm throwing my eyes up.
Like,
Jorge Martin has Cal Crutchlow syndrome.
Oh, yes, he does.
I have to have a factory bike. I have to have a factory bike. I have to have a factory bike.
I thought you meant you agreed with it. I'm like, no, what do you think?
No. If you remember, Cal Crutchlow got on a factory bike, and I got to get off this bike. I got to get off this bike. I got to get off this bike. So be careful what you wish for it. So, like, if you want to win a championship, and with the Pramac Ducati, we'll talk about that in a minute, but you're on equal equipment to whom won the last fucking world championship, right? That's the best place to be in the world, right?
And did you know, little tidbit, that Martin actually had the same amount of engineers, not only at the racetrack, but at the factory. Like, they had Pecco had 106 engineers at the factory. He made sure in his contract that he had 106, the same as Pecco in the contract. He was one of the same amount of engineers at Ducati. How close? You can't get any closer. It's a factory ride, other than the paint.
Yeah, look, it is. Look, they're on equal equipment, and anyone who has any fucking common sense would look at the bike from July last year onwards, and the bike is exactly the same as Pecco's. So, and if you look at the bike that he was running up to mid-year, it was running with the alternative aero package.
I'm sorry,
That
man.
was-
I can see Martin scraping the paint and going, "Hey, this is Pecco's bike. It's red under here."
Yeah. And look for me when there's going to be a lot of movement. I would think in the next 3 to 4 weeks on what's going to do. Like Honda, how much would you have to pay someone to get on a Honda now? Is
A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I was trying to put a price tag on it there the other day. It was like,
they say they can't put a number on your health, and you say, "Sure, you can." Ask Honda.
yeah.
10 million.
I think that's 10 million for an ordinary rider.
Yeah.
I don't think 10 million would be enough for Martin.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
I think Vinales is probably around 15, and Martin would probably be up there in the 20 million, I would think.
I didn't like see the I did not like the Yamaha signing Fabio for all that money, because I could just see them going back. They go back to the same habits that they always have. And I can just see
now that you mentioned that, right? I did read during the week that Fabio came out and said that Marc Marquez leaving Honda put the shits up a load of them in Yamaha.
Run that by me again.
So that Marc Marquez leaving Honda put the shits up senior management in Yamaha, and a lot of people all of a sudden woke up. So, but now they've signed him. They have him for 2 years. You know what I mean? They go back to sleep. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't. But no, saying that, look, I think Honda and Aprilia are the only two that haven't announced their number one riders. And it'll be interesting to see. If you're Martin, you're probably in the most favorable position than anyone, or Mark. Those are the two with the options. Could Mark go back to Honda? I don't fucking think so.
No, that's
right. I think he's learned to love his riding again.
Yes.
Now, that sounds very bad, right, in an Irish term, what riding actually means, but he's learned to enjoy his riding, enjoy his racing, and
it's nice to get out of bed. It doesn't take 15 minutes from the pain.
No, well, that's not.
I mean that seriously. I did that for years.
But it's more so that it quantifies to him that it was the bike and not him.
Oh yeah.
And I think that is probably the most valuable lesson if he gets anything from this week or this year, is that he's competitive again. He's happy. No, look, he knows a girlfriend. He's getting older. Kids are going to come along the way. He's probably going to slow down. So look, life is probably going a different direction as well for him.
He's getting to that Rossi. Remember, Rossi did that. He got him a girlfriend and started, dropping back in the pack.
We kind of could put it into the way that he got himself a serious girlfriend, and then that was fucking into that. Like,
that was it.
Yeah, but honestly, Fabio was wearing pearls under his leathers. I don't know if he's gonna find a girlfriend or
not. Well, look, each to their own, kid, right? But when he puts the helmet on and he's racing,
Diablo.
He don't fucking matter what fucking pearls he's chasing, right?
Yeah, I'm just
Yamaha.
Yeah, but
and I have a question for you. So not to switch gears, but do you feel like Lynn leaving is going to change anything?
I nearly think it was part of the contract.
Okay.
If I'm honest, I think
change much anything.
I think it will. I think whether it's for the good or the bad, I don't know. Like Lynn is, what is he now? He's nearly 65.
Yeah.
He's nearly at that age where you get tired of traveling and you want to stay at home, but the passion is kind of gone.
Oh yeah.
It kind of comes. I just hope it's not Denning, is his successor, Paul Denning, who's running Paddy Yamaha in the World Superbikes.
Oh, okay. Is that the guy? Is that the guy?
Yeah.
So it's just.
I thought they said rumored he might get the job in this.
Yeah. Look, he's close ties with Yamaha, but look, I would like them. I would like them to bring in someone that does have experience, but also is a racer. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I would just love to see Davide Brivio back there. Like, do you know what I mean? That sort of person, passionate to the core.
Yeah. We need him. We need him in there because he yeah.
No, look, and it's just someone like him, you know, not necessarily have to be him, or if it's something go along the Formula One route that Aprilia did, and they brought in someone that, how would I say, is more of a vehicle dynamics expert. Do you know what I mean? So like a technical director from Formula One,
mm-hmm.
who kind of understands fuck all, right? But understands how to bring the departments together to talk to each other. So the aero department, the engine,
bring a package forward.
Yeah, and like, look, I expect a lot out of Yamaha second half of this season. You know, they brought some good people in. What's his name? Bertolodi. You know, that was an amazing steal from Ducati. Mm-hmm. You know, there's nothing he doesn't know about Ducati. Like, if Yamaha by the end of this season could get the Yamaha to the same speed as the early version of the 23, that would be a result for them, right? Because that is somewhat competitive. But it's, I don't know, I think things just with Lynn have gotten stale in the way of ideas from Joe.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. I'll go with that. Yeah, I think there'll be a change because you know what? Yamaha also will bring in. They don't mind bringing in their European engineers like down the road. You're not getting one guy. You're going to get 5 or 6 or 7. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where Honda doesn't. Honda they'll replace the head and then leave the old engineers in the studio or at the shop. Mm-hmm. You can't just change figureheads and expect everything to change.
Yeah.
Workers, you know.
Yeah. Look, I think there's a couple things. Look. There's obviously there's going to be an impact when the regulations for 2027, as we've talked about, are agreed. If there's some sort of freezes coming in, of course, the likes of Yamaha and Honda don't want that because they're trying to catch up, and B, it's how would I say, they put an awful lot of investment into catching up. Right now, all of a sudden, if it's frozen, that goes out the fucking window. They have to double or triple their efforts this year to try and close that gap, which ain't going to be easy. Let's be fair. Have a look at where
they're not really. You don't think they're really using their concessions the way they should? They're not using it the way they could be.
Well, look, Yamaha have been quite slow now. Look, I do know that they're testing. Cal Crutchow's testing this week or last week, and the two boys, Rins and Fabio, I think, are testing. Or is it maybe? I don't think it's this week. They could be in Mugello. So look, they are testing, but like this is Yamaha's first proper test with the race riders since the Pang, like, do you know what I mean, or whatever it was. When was the last major test?
I have a feeling that Yamaha thinks that the concessions are going to go on and on and on, and that's why they're just dragging their feet.
Well, technically, there was no end date to it.
Oh, really? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So, and that's bullshit. I'm sorry. You got to have people stand up and pull themselves by their own bootstraps. Where we say necessity is the mother of invention. If they don't make it so they need to, not whether they want to or not. Make it that okay, you get your concessions. It starts from A, it goes to B, and then you're on your own again. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, look, I don't disagree with you. Look, I'm not a fan of the concessions.
And with all their money they have, there's gigantic budget. It's not like they can't afford to do a lot of testing 24/7 around the clock. You know.
I have a feeling now, though, when you look at how the European bikes and that are done, that track testing is actually only verifying nowadays. Do you know what I mean? It's not actually the development.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. You can find settings in and unlock things and whatever, but I think the track testing now is the only thing, and it's getting more and more expensive. And it's one of the things in the articles of where they were discussing about the regulations and what they were saying, obviously with safety and the speeds and all of this stuff. Another part of it was that the aero and the cooperation with some Formula One teams, the expense of that now is fucking outrageous as well. So, like, realistically, by going in a straight line, right? And it's just a straight line, right? And they're spending fucking hundreds of thousands in the wind tunnel, and then they're going out onto the track, and within 3 laps, they'll have verified whether the wind tunnel is correlated to what they're fucking seeing on track or not. Do you know what I mean? So on track testing, because the reliability of the engines now is on track. How would I say? On track testing nowadays, I don't think is as important as it once was, because the engines now are built to last, whereas before the engines were built to just cross the line and blow up. Do you know what I mean? That's all they needed to do.
That's a real race engine.
But that's a real race engine. But nowadays, it's not the case. You know, and like, I think where testing will come, track testing will come into good stead is in the likes of the regulation change. In the first year of regulation changes, where people are trying to understand what they have. The regulation right now, all except Honda and Ducati, or Honda and the Yamaha, understand what they have. Do you know what I mean? Honda and Yamaha are still trying to figure out, how do I get in the game? And so look, I don't think by turning around and saying go test 24/7 it will change much for them. Do you know what I mean? Because they won't be able to develop that fast.
Yeah, I'm with Jake. I don't think all that testing is, and then you mentioned that as well, that all that testing is really doing anything. You know, they have to use that data. You know, you can have what, years and years and years of testing. If you don't do anything with it, it's kind of pointless, right?
But that's my point, and this is one of the things that we were talking about towards the start of the show.
Mm-hmm.
The philosophy of design on the track, right, is still too long for the Japanese, right? And this is where I was going with, like, to put a fucking wing on the back of the bike. Ducati could probably do it in 4 to 6 weeks, right? From initial inception of to the rapid prototype and on, right? That would probably take 12 weeks.
More than that.
Right.
Yeah, shit. I was gonna say.
So now take a component like an engine that has a couple of thousand moving parts, and build that in 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, and this is kind of like, for me, when I look at these things, you know, the track testing is just verifying. The next part of testing, right, is who do you have testing? Carl Crutchlow came out there, right? He's testing with Yamaha for 2 years, right? He said the day one that he walked into the Yamaha test team, they had fucking nothing.
Yeah.
They barely had a test team. They had a couple of fellas there to run a bike.
Yeah, well, we stated all up.
No, this is why you ended up in this shit, Yamaha.
We stated since day one, the Japanese are not good at innovation and free will thinking. They're
but that's okay, Jake.
You know,
that's okay, Jake. Right?
There's nothing wrong with copying, by the way.
But that's my point. If you stay close enough and copy what people are doing, you're in the ballpark. If you then have a great rider and you're in the ballpark, you can make up that gap.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas what is
hindering somebody else's tech pisses me off. Copying their tech is fine, you know.
Yeah, but look, they all hinder each other, right?
I know about that.
I can fucking guarantee you 100%, right? You will never, and I will never see them, right? But any technical director of any team will question the legality of any new device that might give another team an edge. 100%. Because that's what we're supposed to do. So but
they don't try to have them booted out usually. They
would
I know they do in Formula One. I haven't seen it.
They would go to the FIM and stewards and say, is that within are you happy with that?
I've seen that with the F1 when they put the mic on. Are they the team principals?
Yep.
So with Red Bull, that guy Christian Horner, he's always Mercedes. No, that little wing that he's mic'd up and he's constantly. But that's his job though. So we don't know. We don't know if MotoGP, they don't have mics. We don't. It's like a lot of stuff we're not inside information. We don't get
your team. But that's exactly right. And if your team, or if you see something on another person's bike that's either good, an idea, or you could say, actually, you're not supposed to have two separate bits of carbon fiber there. Fucking rat them out. Bang. Bang.
Rat it out. Rat them out and copy it.
Yeah, exactly. And if the FIM come back and say no, that's legal, that's fine. We put fucking one on. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right. And the problem then becomes, right, the next race that will happen, Ducati will have it also.
Yeah.
Done. Rapid prototype. Let's just fucking bolt it on. If it falls off, we'll just bolt on another one and put a bit of extra duct tape behind it. Do you know what I mean? Honda, let's just say 10 weeks ish. Yamaha, maybe the end of the season. You know, and that's kind of where the problem is. Like, if we look at what Yamaha are running, so the front plane and the front wing, Aprilia had that 2 years ago, right? Yeah. The downward ducts, Ducati had that 3 years ago. That's their aero. The Stegosaurus wings in the back, Ducati came out with that, 22?
Yeah, they were the first ones with that, right?
So you look at the tech on the Yamaha now. 22. It was British Grand Prix 2022.
Was it
when they came out?
No, I was just trying to think who was first. Was it them or was it Aprilia?
I think it was them.
No, they had the Stegosaurus. Ducati had the Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus first. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, to me, remember they had
my point is the tech that is on the Yamaha now, Aero tech.
Okay.
Is all fucking 2 and 3 years old.
Yeah, that's just
there
old.
is no innovation. So it's not even copying current models. Like there's a saying going on about Racing Point, which is now Aston Martin. But it was Racing Point before Aston Martin bought it over. But the owner of Racing Point, which was a chap called Lawrence Stroll, was very good friends with Toto Wolff, who is the owner of Mercedes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all they did from pictures, right? Mercedes won the championship in whatever it was, 2021. And in 2022, Racing Point, whose car was pink, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rolled out of the garage with a virtually identical car to Formula One or to Mercedes 2021 car, let's just say. And they dubbed it the pink Mercedes.
Yeah.
Right? But the FIA, obviously, teams complained about it because you're not allowed to reverse engineer a car of someone else's, right? From pictures and all of this. The only thing that they could find that they used from the Mercedes was a set of brake ducts. But everything else, they had the original drawings that they did themselves for. They didn't take it over or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and hold a second. They're saying it's identical, but it just happened to be drawn up the same. Like just chance that they can't be the same way?
The concept was the same, yeah. So they were able to prove that this was their own drawing of it, that they didn't use.
I went third lawyer.
Oh yeah.
They got the drawings from Mercedes and then they just tweaked it.
I went third lawyer. But like when Ducati had the front ride height band, did I approve of it or did I? It didn't even work. Matter of fact, you know, it didn't work. But I don't think they should have banned it because they made it. Don't take it away. If it's in the rules.
What you see, yeah, it was within the rules, but then the other manufacturers are like, nope, and that was it, right? And they did.
But it was supposed to be unanimous. So how could they?
Because it was outside of the season, so they were allowed to develop it, but it was going to be banned from the following season. Does that make sense?
Yep.
They can't turn around and ban it in the middle of the season if everyone doesn't agree.
But then, how did they have everyone agree to it if it's Ducati? Ducati approved of their own?
No, because it was outside of the regulation of the season. So the regs for the 2025 season were this.
I'm saying, and it was a majority vote, not a unanimous vote.
Yeah, but they didn't say. Let's just say Ducati ran it in 2022.
Right.
So the regulations for 2023, were
changed.
It was a change in the regulations to say that there was no.
Okay.
So because how would I say, front right height was not in the current set of regulations. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So because it wasn't in the regulations,
when they changed the regulations to the next year.
No. They added the regulation, and remember, just like the if you're adding a regulation, just like the engine development freeze, you do not have to have full agreement. Majority wins.
No. Can I say something without you? I don't want you butting in on me with this one. Okay. When I say this, when I look at it, and there's this dispute between you and Crash, believe it or not. When they talked about concessions, all right, and you know, they said it was supposed to be unanimous, right? To have these concessions. Now, Espinosa came out and said, even if they don't come out and vote this to be unanimous, it's going to go through anyway. We're going to bypass them, and we're going to do this. We're going to override and do this unilaterally, make a unilateral decision, and pass it through anyway. So, where is it when they say it has to be unilateral or has to be unanimous? They don't have to be unanimous, apparently. Because they weren't unanimous, they just caved in because they said, "Well, if you don't vote my way, we're going to do it anyway." So then they voted it in because they knew they were screwed anyway. Even if Ducati said no, we don't, or one of the said no, we don't want it. They said we're going to do it anyway. So I don't know where this of where it has to be unanimous is coming in.
Just tell me when I can butt in.
Right, another one. Now, Crash came out and said the same thing. They said, well, when they were talking about the new people coming in, they said Liberty has the right, when push comes to shove, to override everyone and make the decision on their own. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm a little confused on this one.
Okay, so we've been through this already, but I'll go through this again. No. So, firstly, that's not what Espinosa said. Okay, what Espinosa said was that
I heard him say it flat out.
I read the article and I did a video on it. So we'll do this.
No, that's exactly what he said on a.
What his comments was that I would like to do this the easy way and have everyone agree. However, if people are going to put it up, then we'll have to find a way around it. If that means we'll do it ourselves, we will do it ourselves. Of course, there will be a veto in everything, right? Like that. But saying that, the difference of what is going on now and then. Back then, there was a regulation in place that was governed on concessions. Okay, and that regulation had to have the vote of the major stakeholders,
Okay.
which was Dorna, IERTA, and the MSMA. Okay, and the MSMA are made up of the five, or at the time it's 5 manufacturers. My understanding of what happened here was Dorna wanted it, IERTA were okay with this. Well, Herbie Pinterell, he was okay with it. Honda, Yamaha were okay with it. Ducati were against it. Aprilia were against Ducati, so they were going to vote for it. Okay, and KTM were kind of easy on it, but they wanted something out of it because Ducati had the gap. Now, here is where I genuinely think the deal was done. I know for a fact when these concessions were talked about, the new regulations were also being talked about. And I think a deal was done on those concessions to say, lads, they're not going to catch up in 3 years. We're changing the regulations anyway.
Yep.
Right? So it was like, okay, let's close the gap. That's how I believe that went through. Now, why it is different to what is going on with the current set of regulations is because when that concessions one was done, there was already regulations in place that governed concessions. What they're doing right now does not have any regulations put in place. They're only writing the regulations. So at the table, again, let's go back to the table. So you have Dorna, you have IERTA, and you have the MSMA, right? Dorna, i.e. Liberty, now will be saying, this is our vision. This is what we want MotoGP to be. IERTA are kind of like, oh, well, yeah, okay, or no, okay. And the MSMA are kind of saying, okay, well, as manufacturers, your formula that you're writing for MotoGP is not really in line, or it is really in line with where we want to go as manufacturers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, with this, right, let's just say, for example, the 4 out of the 5 of them agree that it's 850cc. Okay, then it's 850cc. That's it. You know, Mr. Let's just say Honda, for example, who might not want to do 850cc, you now have a choice, Honda. You can sign up to a new agreement, or you can fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Whereas back here,
so it's a majority. That's a majority vote on this.
That's a majority vote because there is no regulations in place or no laws or rules in place right now for 2027.
Oh, so you're saying a change of regulations needs
Unanimous.
No. Yeah, change of regulation needs a unanimous decision, but a creation of a rule or a regulation
needs a majority. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Now, just to close off what Crash said, right? Of course, Now, when the concessions one was done, right, there's also 2 factors here, right? You mightn't agree with it, but you do a deal with it. But you also cannot leave without paying a penalty. Mm-hmm. Whereas at the end of 2026, if you don't like the 2027 regulations, you can race till the end of 2026 and then exit free of charge. Whereas with the concessions, let's just say Yamaha have signed up to the end of 2026, right? Yeah. And if they wholeheartedly disagreed with the concessions and said, okay, we're actually taking our toys and we're fucking off, if you're going to do this. So they had to compete next season anyway. Do you know what I mean? Or pay a massive fine. So when these negotiations were going on, this is where I also believe Carmelo was like, or Espinosa was like, we're going to get it done one way or the other, right? They can't fuck off anywhere. They can't. Well, they can, but they're going to pay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
he says his exact words: "In the act of fairness, we're going to do this unilaterally if they don't agree with us."
Yeah, but that's like they're going to get it done one way or the other.
Yeah.
I believe this is where they gave Ducati, who have been hindered by the concessions the most because they got fucking nothing. You know, KTM and Aprilia did get something, and Honda and Yamaha got a lot. And that's why I believe that they're going along, and this is where this whole vibe and stuff that I have with Digi wanting the 850cc's, or not GG, sorry, wanting the 850cc's, and this is why it's happening. I think a deal was done there. Okay, let them for the 3 years, and we'll give you what you want. Okay, done. So that's where I think it is. Of course, Dorna or Liberty Media, for the new regulations, have the power to take the sport in any direction that they want. But up to the end of 2026, there is a set of core regulations. There will be new regulations introduced and not, okay? But there is a set of core regulations, and it only becomes a problem when they want to change an existing regulation. Everyone must agree. An introduction of new ones or whatever in its majority.
And folks, where else are you going to find a legal eagle like Mac? All right, in MotoGP, just to sure you sign up and give him a beer too. You know, for all the work he does. He needs his beers too, just to put up with.
Tips are appreciated.
Get me off the water.
Glass in his hand.
Yeah, that's vodka. I wish.
Whoa.
Anyway, yeah. Look, I think it's going to be very interesting. I think we have lots coming out. Like the next 4 or 5 weeks, I'm actually really pretty excited about what's actually going to happen. Especially with the rider market. You know, I think it's definitely interesting where Mark is going to go. He's keeping his options open, I believe, and I think like it's good. We have a
I can't believe he went to all that trouble to go with his brother, and then it's going to leave in a year.
Yeah, but I just still think that he was trying to do was find out, is it him or is it the bike? You know, there's massive questions. That listen, if you ever had you crash a bike, right? And
I've done that.
Proper crash a bike that you end up in the fucking hospital contemplating life and sitting there for 4 or 5 weeks. And you live and you replay that crash over and over and over again because you've fucking killed your beloved bike. If you've done it properly,
broke my back and broke a bike and ripped the front of the bike right off.
And then you have that fucking moment then, you know, just before you're going to get back on another bike again, and you're like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can only imagine what Mark has, to be fair, right? And look, I'm not a big Mark Marquez fan, but like that fellow went through fucking hell. Like, okay, forget about the fucking army fucking bit getting it fucking redone, right? But the amount of violent crashes that he'd had off that Honda, you know, where he was doing things that he naturally did before and it was able to take it, right? And now he'd look at it in this fucking... He'd be walking in the garage, he'd look at the bike, and the bike would jump up and hit him in the face, right? It was just you know, it was like the bike hated him, like, do you know what I mean? And it was just, and you get off it and you find your love of racing again, you know, and now he understands, and this is what I think makes him really dangerous. Now he understands that it was never him. He was never the problem.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, he's on the GP23, and I see people saying, well, he's the fastest GP23 rider, right? And I'm like, yeah, but you put an alien on a good bike, you know, he should be up there. Do you know what I mean? Look at Young Acosta. do you know what I mean? They're not seeing that reference yet that he is supposed to be ahead of every other GP23. He is who he is. Do you know what I mean? So look, I think it's going to be really good. I also am really interested this week to see how he goes in Jerez. You know, the scene of where all this fucking shit started. Do you know what I mean? And like, if he comes out, because it's going to be a much more difficult race weekend with the track. The track is narrower, it's twisty, it's tight. You have to remember with the Ducati, it's long. Do you know what I mean? It's not really so. It will be.
I don't think you'll have a fear factor on it if that's what you're talking about.
No, but it's kind of one of those ones that everyone has a bogey corner, right? Or like there's a. Well, I have about fucking 3 or 4 of them, but there's always one that you know that you can go better through it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no matter how much you try,
it's like a woman. It's that one they just don't click with. Period. You can't even be in the same room with.
Yeah, but look, it's just you know, like if he comes out of Jerez with a really good result, do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I banished the demons from going there, right? And it's not about fear factor or about anything like that. It's just all of a sudden, when you come back to that track next year, all of your bad memories are gone and you're back to good vibes. Yeah, I had a great solid weekend here last time I was here. Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you know, and then that starts just to build your confidence and stuff. So, look, I think it'll be good. But a question, I suppose.
I think Coda was phenomenal for Marc Marquez. He went through that track. And even though he's crashed, but he was doing things he never hadn't done in a long time on the bike. He could turn around, even though he went down, he could turn around and say, I did a hell of a race. I was riding correctly. You know, I'm back. It's me. I'm doing well. Not the bike. It's me. I'm doing right. I'm still an alien. He could look himself in the mirror and say, I'm still Marc Marquez. You know, I'm still the shit. You know, great boost of confidence.
Yeah. So look, I did actually get questioned by someone about my race report on Marc Marquez, and I said it was a good weekend for Marc Marquez. So I do genuinely believe Coda was very good for Marc. You know, I think he understood an awful lot. You know, he crashed while he was in the lead, right?
Yeah.
When was the last time you said that about Marc Marquez? Firstly, right, that he was in the lead, right? Never mind the crash. But so he was in the lead. But up to before that crash, look, I never take riders' excuses as rider excuses, Joe. Like he's like, I had a problem with the front brake and I had to pump the brake a few times to think, right, let's be fair, right? You shouldn't have been on the fucking track. If you had a problem with your front brakes at a fucking high-speed track like there, that get fucking off it, right? Anyway, the racers, they're never going to do that, right? I'll pump it and see what happens. And if it fails, I'll jump off. But I suppose, look, for me, when I look at it, you know, he's learning that bike, and his only reference that he has is a fucking terrible Honda from last year.
Yeah.
You know, so of course the thing feels good, feels much better. He could understand it. He's trying to still ride it like a Honda at times, and you could see that with his crash. He was a little bit offline, and he was trying to force the front to go in, and the front brake locked. And this is kind of why I don't necessarily buy the brake
front brake. But yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like he was a little bit offline. He was already leaning. You know what I mean? And the front wheel locked. You know.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I thought the same thing, but I thought it was me. I thought, it's just me. I'm seeing something.
No. Look, but like I think it was a really good understanding for him. You know, it definitely gave him a bit more pep in his step. You know, I think it was good that he was back fighting with people, but I think he now understands the threat of Pedro Acosta.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's his new problem, and I genuinely believe that that's his new problem, because Spain is a pretty small place, right? And all of a sudden, young Acosta, who is, how would I say, he is perfectly suited for a Drive to Survive type documentary to be following him around.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's young. He's dumb. In the way of, like, he's gonna get up to some freaky shit, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's funny, do you know what I mean? He's not yet prickly with the press, but I think he will. That will naturally happen. And like I can't blame Mark for being prickly with the press, right? You know, if you're going around somewhere and fucking everyone's following you and calling your name, look, there's times you would just like go fuck off, like, or you know, some prick is on a YouTube channel says something to you and then he asks you a question. Of course, you're like, shut the fuck up, dickhead. Do you know what I mean? Or leading them down the wrong prick. I get it. Do you know what I mean? But again, at the end of the day, you know, these guys are idols. People are looking up to them. You know, and I think I do think that Acosta is kind of the Spanish passing of the torch from Marquez to Acosta. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of the reliving of the Rossi exit. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think Acosta is just going to take this on to another level of speed. Like, he's done things on that bike, and more so in Portimao. As I've ridden the circuit in Portimao, and I've like, well, if that was me, I would be in the fucking gravel, do you know what I mean? Tumbling through the fucking thing.
And you know what's odd? I was looking at him. I went to see him just for shits and giggles. I went to a Moto 2 race and a Moto 3 race, right? He's doing stuff on the MotoGP bike that he never did on the Moto 2 bike or the Moto 3 bike. It's like new. Do you understand? It's like moves that are new that he's pulling off like a veteran. Like he's done this 20 times before, you know? And it's like, remember we said we were holding off to the end, you know, until we seen him run, right? For confirmation. And he pulls off that, he did the confirmation and then some. You know, you're going, oh, it's new. Holy shit, you know? Very impressive. I mean,
yeah.
And by the way, Marc Marquez, I can tell you about like being an older fighter and you go in the ring with the younger guys, that can give you an incentive too.
Oh, it can. Look, look, I will struggle to see will Marc Marquez be the Marc Marquez of old. I think it naturally, I think it's not too naturally slow down, but I just think, you know, you cannot. Yeah, look, I just think, what does it say? The reaction just isn't there anymore compared to when he was 25. Do you know what I mean? Now, look, saying that, he can still be cute, and I'm not saying at all that he won't win races. I think he will. But I think once young Acosta gets himself accosted, I think he'll. I think he's going to be the new Marquez, you know what I mean, for sure. And I think he's going to do things, and like what I genuinely like about Acosta is that he's really aggressive, right? But he doesn't touch you.
Yeah,
he has a finesse. He has a finesse.
I just pray that he isn't sucked up by Honda, and then they just shut down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They shut down. They go, okay, we got a rider. We're going to pull Marquez, and now pull our ass out of the fire. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what they do. That's what they do need, though. To be fair, right? They do need that. I think once they have the bike, like he's young and talented enough to say your bike is shit. Get your bike sorted and I'll come over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I hope he doesn't. I pray that he doesn't do it when the bike's not sorted. He doesn't go for the $25 million. Okay, we'll figure it out as we go. You know, because come on, when you're young and dumb, let's face it, you get bravado. You're Superman.
Yeah.
No, I was Superman when I was 25 years old. I chewed nails and shit railroad spikes. You know?
Yeah, but look, I think someone like him, he would be more driven to get those couple of world championships first. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of high in his priority, more so than the money. Because in his mind he has loads of time, do you know? And I think winning those titles 1 and 2, and then it's kind of like the middle of your career, you can go and do the development or the writing. Do you know what I mean? As in, like, let's take 2 years at hand out. I might have 2 world championships in MotoGP. Let's try 2 years at hand and let's get paid 50 million. I'm set for life, and then let's see where we go. And then you get to the end of your career and you're like, okay, I need the best bike again. Do you know what I mean? So
it's too late. Yeah, he I think if he goes to Honda's not gonna develop the bike and he's gonna be out of luck. He's gonna be at the bottom. He's gonna waste his career.
Yep.
He needs to go to KTM and just be in the best position possible, which is
KTM. He could be at Aprilia. He could win. Of course, he could win at Ducati.
either or. Mm-hmm.
Either or. Just keep it Euro. You know what I mean?
Anyway, on that bombshell, we will say goodbye. But before we say goodbye, it is race week.
Mm-hmm.
So who is your fastest man for Friday? Ooh, Jake, you forgot it was the race week, kid.
Yeah, I didn't even think. Who's my fastest man on Friday? Where's the time? I'm gonna go Martin.
That's the easy trick pick.
Yeah.
No, because isn't Acosta, that's his favorite racetrack, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's not. No. Acosta said that he's most looking forward to. I think it was Mugello and Phillip Island. I think they're the ones he really wants.
I guess everybody's in agreement that Martin is the fastest MotoGP rider in
raw pace. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and he's leading, so I don't know if that's an extra incentive to keep going and get faster. But
well, you know what they say about someone leading. There's only one way.
What's
down? Yeah,
not to extend everything, but what the hell is with Pecco?
Pecco is Pecco.
Pecco is Pecco. I think this has been probably one of the better starts of his seasons. Pecco doesn't wake up to mid-season. Yeah,
he doesn't wake up to the end, and then he's he's killing himself. I mean,
I think he's been lackluster since the day.
No. Like if you look at last year, his first 4 races, he had 2 crashes.
That's normal.
Yeah, but didn't he have problems with the bike last year? They I know the first year they ran out of time, and then
second one is not dialed in. Yeah, it's not dialed in, but you can see it. Like there is a fundamental problem, I believe, with the 24, right? It's just fucking chattering to like a motherfucker, and you could see it. You could see it. Like
every time Ducati says it's perfect, there's always a problem. You ever notice that?
But that's the perfect problem. Like I think it's just tuning, right? And the minute that they get that, like I have full faith that in what we're probably going to see another 2 races, and next minute all of a sudden the GP24 wakes up and the fucking boys are gone. Because I have a feeling, no, this is just a feeling, but when that 24 wakes up, look, but I just don't know which Ducati rider is going to be. Now, if we remember, Martin had a better second half of the season than Pecco, or last couple of races or whatever. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's definitely how would I say, strange. Like, no, I don't think Pecco has had any worse of a season than the past 2 seasons, if I'm honest. Has he been at the pointy end? No, he hasn't. Do you know what I mean? And he's not able to ride around the problem, but neither is Martin. Do you know what I mean? You could see Martin, especially in Kota, he was struggling big time.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? NA was struggling, so they all looked fucked. Do you know what I mean? So
to be honest, Pecco is not the greatest tester. He's not the greatest at sorting.
Oh, he is. He's very, very good at understanding the data. Actually, he's fucking.
I didn't think he was ever that great. We used to pick him. You know, he's gotten a hell of a lot better than he was.
No, he's good at understanding the data. Like he's definitely gotten much better at it.
Yes, yes, but I don't see him as a great sorter.
Pecco just isn't aggressive, right? And that's Pecco's
he wouldn't make the last minute. I think he's just pulling it out of his point. Like he's half of it. He's pulling out. He's just using
Pecco
his ass. You know what I mean? You know,
if you look at someone's riding style, Pecco isn't the sprint race type of person, right? So if you look at every sprint race that's there, that's actually Pecco would prefer the practice session. Do you know what I mean? Because he doesn't enjoy coming out of the box. That's not the way he likes it to ride. He's actually kind of like Max Biaggi. he likes for the tires and the bike to warm up and
maybe
do 2 or 3 laps off the build up pace, and then they fucking go for it for the rest of the race. And that's the way he likes the race. But the way things are now is that if you give Jorge Martin, who's on an equal bike to him, a half-second gap, he's gone. Do you know what I mean? And that's pushing the envelope. So I think he's been forced to ride in a way that he doesn't really want to ride. The sprint race don't help him, but you know, the other thing with Pecco is like I think he's very diligent. Do you know what I mean? He understands an awful lot about what's going on with the bike. And I do believe as well within the team, like realistically, of all 8 Ducatis out there, if he's the favored son, right?
Oh, yeah.
So he and Jorge Martin might have the engineers, but I think Pecco has the best engineers. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, so look, I think him giving feedback and the interpretation between himself and his engineers and the data, I think they're really a good package. It is very rare that you would see Pecco on a race day be slower than a sprint day, if you know what I mean, pace wise and position wise. So look, we wait and see. All Ducatis were fucked around Kota. Kota is one of those weird out there tracks. So
but I'll take Martin, and then I'll take just do all 3 guys. How about this? Let's do Marquez for second, and I'll take Acosta for third.
Okay.
Well, no, 3 on both races.
I'm gonna go number 1. I'm gonna go Maverick, man. He's on it. He's on it. And then
I should be more loyal.
I don't think this is Martin's track. I'm gonna go Acosta and then Marquez. I don't think Martin is. I can't remember if he's strong. He's not. I don't know. I don't think he's strong.
Who are you going with? Run back me again. Who you going to
run? Number 1, Maverick. Number 2, Acosta. Number 3, Marquez.
Okay. I'll tell you what. If he's running the same Maverick's running with the same velocity as he did last time, that bike is turning. That's a great track for the Aprilia because it was turning like looked like a bicycle out there. He was turning so easy.
I'm going to go with Marquez.
Ooh.
Vinales and Pecco.
Okay.
Just to be different.
He likes the old guys. You know what I mean? The older the better.
Yeah, the older the better. And on that bombshell, we'll wrap it up for tonight. Thank you again, lads, for joining. And look,
good one, guys.
We will see again next Monday after Jerez, and we'll have an idea of who was right and who was wrong.
All right, guys.
See you later, all. Peace out.